Oh, it's being recorded. All right, friends. Thank you so much for coming today. I'm excited to have you here. How has the week been going for you? Did you learn anything new about yourself? Any frustrations still? Put it in the chat. Let me know. Send me an email. I'm super curious. I had so much fun during the holiday mini series, and it was so exciting to see what you all had come up with and all the progress you made in a short amount of time. Today, we will be going more in depth about my program and Give Me Some Sugar. You got a little taste of it over the past 5 days, and I want to show you that there is even more that can improve your diabetes self-management and overall health than what we just learned. First things first, I know you probably are familiar with me by now, but for those that are watching after this, or maybe you're new to my channel or account, I am Rachel. I'm a registered nurse, certified diabetes care and education specialist, and board certified nurse coach. I am also a person that has been living with type 1 diabetes for 25 years, and I am so excited to be here with you today. Thank you for spending your evening or afternoon, wherever you're at, with me. So I've been working in diabetes education for a while now, and I have spent that time sort of gathering some commonalities amongst my clients. And the most common problem I've seen working with clients is not that they were not eating well enough or exercising enough or that they were being non-compliant, as some of my health care workers like to put it. It is so much deeper than that. Majority of my clients come to me doing everything right, but they're still frustrated, burned out, and grieving their diagnosis. And something I realized was missing from all of my clients' lives is resilience. When I was in kindergarten, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, like right before I turned 5 years old. And if you are someone that was diagnosed as a child, or if you are the caregiver of a child with diabetes, or you know children with diabetes, you know that they are hella resilient. And this was something that really stuck with me as a kid. Was when I came back to school, they awarded me with the character word of the month, which was resilience, and that forever stuck with me and is something I value in myself and my ability to deal with my diabetes. Resilience is a key component of living with chronic illness. It is the ability to withstand and bounce back from difficulties. Without resilience, we are at constant risk of burning out. We are angry and frustrated with our management, no matter where the numbers are. Your A1C could be at goal for you, but you're still feeling limited and like your world has shrunk in on you. So how do we build resilience exactly? This is a high-level overview of the diabetes empowerment method, which I developed after kind of seeing what was going on with all of my clients and what their needs were. Where I typically start with everybody is mindful diabetes self-management. And this is what we're going to go in depth with today. It is the root foundation of diabetes self-management, and many of the tools you used in the challenge in the past 5 days are ones that I teach my clients. The next stage is thought management and letting go of perfectionism. How many self-identifying perfectionists do I have here today? I see some hands and I see some chats. I'm not sure if diabetes just follows perfectionists or does it make perfectionists? But I can say that this is a huge hindrance to living peacefully and resiliently with diabetes. So this is something that we tackle in my program using this method. Third comes introspection and health values. As my clients are practicing the above two stages, we start delving into their health values. When you know what your health values are, this makes making decisions and setting boundaries day to day in your life clear and easy. It's non-negotiable, and clients who choose actions based on this are way happier and more energized during the day because they know exactly what they need to be doing. Next down the triangle is obstacle anticipation. We all know diabetes is so much more than food. This is an insanely important concept for people with diabetes to learn in order to prevent burnout. Anticipating obstacles and knowing how you'll react, once again, allows you to feel empowered and ready for the day because you've already planned for it and you already know how you're going to react to it. And lastly is radical acceptance. This is my favorite part. This is when we get philosophical, but it's the most important part of this entire method. And it's also the most difficult to learn, which is why building these skills up here is really important because this can be kind of a difficult thing to wrap the mind around. Radical acceptance can be defined as the ability to accept situations that are outside of your control without judging them. This in turn reduces the suffering that is caused by them. It is very much seen in Buddhist belief and a lot of different mindful practices that you see throughout the world. All right, so like I said, we're going to pay attention to that first top half, that foundation, which is mindful diabetes self-management. And really one of the biggest parts of that is mindful eating. And you all learned about mindful eating this week, learned about tuning into hunger and fullness levels. How did it go? Did it feel weird? It usually does because we often lose this connection with ourselves when we are diagnosed with diabetes because we're so focused on pre-bolusing, calculating, and getting everything right. We really lose that connection with our mind and our body. So I hope that that hunger fullness scale was a helpful tool to get you thinking and get you connected back to a part of yourself and your physiology. So this week, I want you to keep tuning into that hunger and fullness while you're eating. And you can also add mindfulness to your food prep as well. A good way to do this is when you do decide you're hungry, ask yourself these three questions. What do I want? What do I need? And what do I have? This is something adapted from Michelle May's Am I Hungry? Eat What You Love What You Eat with Diabetes method. If you've not read that book, it is lovely and I recommend it. But I think these three questions can be really helpful tools and I encourage you to try them out this week. So again, you've decided that you're hungry. Ask yourself, what do I want? Think about texture, taste, temperature, especially right now when it's super cold. You may want warmer, heartier dishes. And of course, take your cravings into account. They're there for a reason. What do I need? So you can ask yourself, what would be really supportive of my blood sugar right now? Maybe you are a little bit more above target than you'd like to be, and there are certain items that would make the most sense for you to be eating at this point in time. And can you align those with what you want? What do I need also entails questions like, have I been eating a lot of the same thing recently? Like if you've been eating a bunch of fried foods or a bunch of heavier meals, again, it's wintertime, maybe you want to balance that out with something a little bit lighter. And lastly is, what do I have? And this one can be a bit troubling, and I find this is the one I have to work on the most. So my clients and I always really have to do a lot of planning, and we work through that meal planning so that we can make sure that there are meals and ingredients and prepped food available in the house so that we can honor what we want and what we need as well. Next is joyful movement. And joyful movement is an approach to physical activity that emphasizes finding pleasure in the way we move our bodies. A lot of the time, physical activity in diabetes, especially, is sort of seen as punishment or something that has to be done to bring down your blood sugar every single time. You got to do something high intensity or go on a 15-minute walk every time you eat something. We don't do that here. Physical activity offers way more physical and mental health benefits aside from just lowering your blood sugar and weight loss. So this would be things like aiding in digestion, improving your metabolism overall, increasing your insulin sensitivity over time, enhancing muscle tone, strength, and flexibility, helping us build momentum and motivation in our day, as well as lowering stress levels. We know time and time again, research has proved that movement can actually be as effective as a lot of our SSRIs or antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications. Not to say you don't need those medications, but exercise really helps to supplement and make sure that our mood is elevated and in a good place. And of course, it promotes cardiovascular health. So, that's a perk. Something we have to consider with diabetes as well. And then instead of thinking about ways to exercise, I want you to come up with ways to just move your body. Ways to do this are as simple as like dancing to your favorite music while you're vacuuming your house or doing chores. It could be walking your dogs or walking around with a good friend. Exercise does not have to be a grueling feat, limited to the confines of a weight room that leaves you worn down for days. Instead, simply get up and move your body in ways that you enjoy. All kinds of movement count. I also want you to consider rest. This is a part of joyful movement, is knowing when we need to rest. There is a fantastic app in the App Store that recently won an award in the App Store for the best app or one of the best apps this year, and it's called Gentler Streak. And I find that this really helps me keep track of my rest periods, and it doesn't put any pressure on me to move, and it gives you a lot of options for that joyful movement and reminds you to take a break. So I would encourage you to take a look at that app and see if that helps you and your goals. And lastly, we are going to talk about non-judgmental interpretation. How many of y'all hate looking at your blood sugars or your CGM reports or your blood sugar logs? How often have you walked away from it feeling really down? Similarly to having the endocrinologist or somebody interpret your blood sugars and give you feedback, and you just usually walk away feeling not so great about it. This is a really common feeling amongst a lot of people with diabetes, so you are not alone. It is also a very important concept in my program to learn how to use non-judgmental interpretation. So this means looking at blood sugars and metrics from a compassionate and non-judgmental lens. And then trying new things and making changes and experimenting, all with the spirit of curiosity. The next time you decide to take a look at your blood glucose reports, I want you to try this out. And this is kind of some questions that you can ask yourself to help spark that non-judgmental interpretation. Ask yourself, what do I see? Are there a lot of colors that I see in this CGM report? A lot of yellow, a lot of red, a lot of neutral. What's going on here? What is this telling me? So am I seeing peaks at certain times, drops overnight? Can I change something about this next time to maybe move the colors in a direction that I would like them to go? Sometimes you can't. Maybe if you notice that your blood sugars were more above target while you had an infection. Really, one of the biggest things that we can change is how much more we're hydrating and just having patience and knowing that our blood sugars will come down as that infection goes away. And how can I let go of this? So if it is something that's out of our control, really trying to just take that week and let it go, know that it's just data, and that's all it is. It is not going to ruin your entire life. It is not going to ruin all of your plans. It is not going to increase your risk for complications if it is just a couple weeks of blood sugars that you don't really like to look at. Just telling yourself those things and reminding yourself of those things is so important. And I encourage you to always consider that at the end of looking at your blood sugars and your reports, doing it in a very intentional way. And that was just a quick review of the top of the triangle. So I wanted to come back here and just, this is definitely a place that we spend quite a bit of time on. And it is so necessary to do all of this before we start getting into these things. But it is also necessary to have this all of these concepts practiced and put together in our lives in order to make sure that we are building that resilience and that we prevent any burnout and we're feeling good and empowered about our diabetes self-management. I want to take a moment now just to answer any questions that you have. You can type them in the chat or raise your hand and come on camera, whatever is easiest. But it's also okay if you don't have questions. That means hopefully I did a good job and explained everything. All right. For those of you that would like to go deeper into how you can work with me and this method, if it's all right, I would like to share some information with you about my program. If everyone's okay with that, give me a thumbs up. All right. So here is where I'm going to call you out. Most of you don't need more knowledge. You are smart as hell. You've got it going on. You know what an extended bolus is. You know what a pre-bolus is. You know what you should be doing. You know how to build a balanced plate. You totally get it. You eat low carb. You're doing all the things. You know it all. You've read all the books. What you actually need is accountability and application. You need structure and someone, hint, hint, to move you forward. So the Diabetes Empowerment Program is a program built for the diabetes self-help enthusiast or addict who wants to change their behavior and build resilience. If you are someone that is always on Instagram, looking at all the goodies and watching all the reels, and again, you know all of the information, I would probably say you're a diabetes self-help enthusiast. It is a program for the person dedicated to growth, change, and evolution, and they just need a little bit of help and support to get them there. It's for the person with diabetes who is sick of hating themselves, feeling restricted, and wanting to expand and appreciate their world more. Again, as we stop being mindful and we kind of go on autopilot and we're utilizing all of these rules and things that we've learned, it often feels like our world is closing in on us. We feel like we can't travel. We feel like we can't go to restaurants. We feel like we can't do things with friends. We feel like we can't be intimate or date in a way that we feel confident about because of all these rules that we've set from all of that knowledge we have learned. And this is totally normal. And it's also a red flag that we need to do something different. And that's where the program helps out. And so if you feel like that is you, if I have described you, I do have a special offer for you this weekend only because I love you. So I am giving the biggest discount I have ever given for my program. So it's $200 off the total cost of the Diabetes Empowerment Program. All you have to do is apply for the program by this Sunday by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You go to the website there, give me some sugar.coach/apply, set up a call with me, and we will get things moving, get some paperwork done, get you signed up, and also so that you can see if I can help you and you will jive with my personality and all that good stuff. So no pressure. It's just a call to get to know each other a little bit better and, again, get those things rolling. And then 3, just finalize everything by the end of the week to get that discount. I also want to let everybody know that I have added a lot of states to my licensure. So I have my California license now. Took forever, took several months, but we have it. So I've added a lot of states, which is really exciting. So if you've applied in the past and I wasn't licensed to offer this program in your state, it is likely that I am now. So I encourage you to go into the application and check and see. It'll verify with you whether you are or not. If you are not verified or you are not in a verified state yet, or if you are in another country other than the United States, you probably, I know you will, get benefit and help from some of my courses, whether that's Diabetes Toolkit or Bolus Busters. These are two, it's a low cost one and a little bit more of a midway medium cost one, and both offer really awesome benefits. And I am offering a similar discount for those as well. So you can always email me and let me know that you're in a state that's not covered and you're interested in one of those courses, and I will send you a code. So just let me know. And also I do offer sliding scale cost adjustment for United States households less than $54,000 a year. So if that is you, again, go ahead and apply. There's an option for sliding scale. I want to make education and building resilience and having empowerment as accessible to everyone as possible, while also allowing me to pay my bills. So I want to find that balance, and I can definitely help you with that. So again, go ahead. By the end of Sunday is the last day to apply. And I have very limited seats since I work multiple jobs. So I would encourage you to apply as soon as possible so you can get your seat. And it's a very high touch 3-month program. We do biweekly sessions and there is lots of support and all kinds of goodies for you in that program. So I am looking forward to working with you. I will stay on a bit longer and answer any questions. You can also send me an email, or send me a chat or send me an Instagram DM if you do have questions. But thank you so much for your time today. And I loved sharing this with you.